Kristen Demera does not just walk into a room and ask for a favor. She walks in with temptation, danger, and chaos wrapped around every word. And in today's Days of Our Lives recap, Xander Cook finds himself standing right in the middle of that chaos. The main pressure starts with Kristen trying to pull Xander into something dark. She wants him to take action against EJ. Not just confront him, not just threaten him. She is pushing him towards something far more serious. But Xander pushes back. He tells Kristen he has worked too hard to become a better man. He knows what he used to be. He knows the kind of violence he has been capable of in the past. And that is exactly why this moment matters. Xander is not pretending he has a clean history. He is not acting like he has always been innocent. He is drawing a line because he understands what crossing that line would cost him. Kristen, of course, does not accept that easily. She comes prepared. She reminds him of all the damage EJ has caused. She frames it like Xander would be protecting people. She even goes so far as to suggest that stopping EJ from hurting anyone else would almost be a service to the world. That is classic Kristen. She does not just make a bad idea sound tempting. She makes it sound moral. She makes it sound like justice. She knows how to twist rage into reason. But Xander still says no, and that refusal is important. For a man like Xander, saying no to violence is not a small thing. It shows how badly he wants to hold on to the better version of himself. Even when Kristen gives him every excuse to fall back into old habits, he refuses to become that man again. Then the scene takes a sharp turn. Kristen apologizes for wasting his time, but Xander makes it clear the visit does not have to end there. He admits he originally thought this was more of a booty call. And just like that, the danger turns into something messy, impulsive, and very Salem. Kristen takes the offer immediately. Before long, Xander is tied to the headboard with his own belt, while Kristen runs her fingers across his chest and kisses him. It is reckless. It is strange. It is funny in the way only days can be. But underneath the comedy, there is still a sense that Xander has stepped into Kristen's world, and Kristen's world never stays harmless for long. Later, when it is all over, Kristen is sleeping beside him. Xander manages to free himself. Kristen purrs that it felt good. But Xander has a very different reaction. His elbow hurts. That one small injury turns the entire encounter into something humiliating. Xander avoided one disaster by refusing Kristen's deadly proposal, only to walk straight into another disaster of a completely different kind. And now he has to face the last person he probably wants to explain this to, Sarah. At the hospital, Sarah is already dealing with her own emotional weight. Brady arrives with Victoria, brought over from the nanny Fran, and it gives Sarah a sweet surprise. She missed her daughter the night before, so seeing Victoria brings her real comfort. This scene gives the episode a softer breath. Sarah is not just a doctor in this moment, she is a mother trying to balance work, worry, and everything else pressing down on her life. Brady tells Sarah he is heading off to handle his PI work. Sarah worries about him because that kind of job can be dangerous. Brady promises he will be fine, and Sarah tells him he had better be because she needs him. That line carries more emotion than it first seems. Sarah is surrounded by instability. Xander brings chaos, Brady brings concern, Victoria brings love, and Sarah is trying to hold everything together without losing herself in the middle of it. Then Xander arrives at the hospital, and Sarah is the attending physician. The setup is almost too perfect. Xander has a dislocated elbow, red marks on his wrists, and no honest explanation he wants to give. Sarah sees the marks and naturally asks what happened. Xander quickly makes up a gym excuse. Sarah does not press too hard. In fact, she loses interest in the full story once the medical issue is clear. She tells him she will get x-rays to make sure there is no fracture, then pop the elbow back into place. And when she does return, she seems to enjoy the moment a little too much. Xander yelps in pain as Sarah puts his elbow back where it belongs. It is funny, but it also says something about their dynamic. Sarah may not know exactly what happened, but she knows enough to understand Xander is probably hiding something foolish. And Xander, for all his bravado, is completely helpless in that hospital room. That is why this storyline works. It balances temptation, comedy, and emotional history. Xander tries to be better. Kristen tests him. He refuses the darkest path. Then he still ends up paying for his weakness in the most embarrassing way possible. And Kristen? She returns to the Salem Inn looking disheveled enough for Leo to notice immediately. In the hallway, Leo is with Gwen, and he cannot help himself. He comments on Kristen's appearance and guesses she has been enjoying her afternoon. That is Leo at his sharpest. He sees the mess before anyone says a word. Gwen, meanwhile, is in her own emotional storm. Earlier in the square, she cried to Leo that EJ had screwed her over. That is not explored deeply in this recap, but it adds another layer to the atmosphere around EJ. Even when he is not physically present in every scene, his impact is everywhere. Kristen is pushing Xander because of EJ. Gwen is breaking down because of EJ, and Salem keeps feeling the aftershocks of his choices. That is the strength of this Days of Our Lives recap. The main chaos may be Xander and Kristen, but the emotional damage spreads through several corners of Salem. While Xander is dealing with the consequences of Kristen's temptation, Chanel is carrying a quieter kind of pain. And unlike Xander's injury, Chanel's pain is not something she wants anyone to see. At home, Chanel is clearly hurting, but she hides it from Paulina. She shifts the conversation toward Paulina and Abe, asking if they have talked about where Lexit will go once she is released from the hospital. Paulina says they have not, but then decides she is not going to sit around waiting for the inevitable. That tells us Paulina is already under heavy emotional strain. She has family worries pressing in from every side, and Chanel sees that. So when Lani comes over and gets a private moment with Chanel, the truth starts to come closer to the surface. Lani checks on her. She wants to know how Chanel is really holding up. Chanel admits she has not told Paulina about her biopsy. That is a huge emotional choice. Chanel is not hiding it because it does not matter. She is hiding it because it matters too much. She does not want to add another burden to her mother's already full heart. Lani urges her to tell Paulina anyway. She makes it clear that Paulina would want to know, no matter what else is happening. And Lani is right. In families like this, silence can feel protective, but it can also create more pain later. Chanel says she does not want to burden their mom. Then she says Paulina is due for a miracle. That line lands heavily. Chanel is trying to be strong, but the fear is there. She is hoping for something good because everything around them feels so uncertain. It is not loud drama, it is not explosive, but it is deeply emotional because Chanel is carrying fear quietly. And quiet fear can be the hardest kind to watch. Meanwhile, another family storyline is unfolding with Alex, Stephanie, Joy, and baby Kelsey. Stephanie tells Alex they need to address the elephant in the room. That elephant is Kelsey. Alex is stunned when Stephanie says something she has apparently known for a long time. She is not ready to be a stepmom. That confession changes the emotional temperature of their relationship. Stephanie is not attacking Alex. She even says she would never ask him to choose between her and his daughter. But she is being honest. This is not what she signed up for, and that honesty hurts. Stephanie also says the situation is making her struggle to trust him. She points to Joy, telling her that Alex wanted Joy to stay in Salem, while Alex had made it sound like the decision was Joy's. For Stephanie, that difference matters. It makes her feel like Alex has been managing the truth instead of sharing it fully. Alex apologizes and says he thought she understood how hard everything was. That is the heartbreak of this scene. Alex is overwhelmed too. He is suddenly trying to understand fatherhood, legal responsibilities, Joy's place in Salem, and Stephanie's feelings all at once. But Stephanie is also overwhelmed. She is being asked to emotionally adjust to a child, a co-parenting situation, and a future she did not prepare for. No one has to be the villain for this to hurt. After Stephanie leaves, Alex gets a text from Joy asking to meet about legal matters. He meets Joy and Kelsey at the park. Joy mentions that Stephanie has already met Kelsey, but Alex still wants to set up a formal introduction. That shows Alex is trying. He may be stumbling, but he is trying to do this properly. Then the moment turns emotional. Alex says that when they handle the legal paperwork, Kelsey can have the Kyriakis name. That alone is big. The Kyriakis name carries family weight in Salem. It connects Kelsey to Alex's world, his history, and his identity. But Joy takes it even further. She suggests Kelsey's middle name be Adrienne. That hits Alex hard. For long-time DOOL viewers, Adrienne's name means love, family, loss, and legacy. So Joy's suggestion is not just a sweet gesture, it is a bridge. It tells Alex that Kelsey is not only being connected to him legally, she is being connected emotionally to someone who mattered deeply. And that is why Stephanie's struggle becomes even more complicated. Kelsey is not just a sudden responsibility, she is becoming part of Alex's heart. And if Stephanie loves Alex, she has to figure out whether there is room in her heart for the little girl who is now part of his life. Later, Stephanie goes to the martial arts place to meet Brady for training. Brady notices something is wrong and asks if she wants to talk. Stephanie tells him what happened with Alex. Brady gives her grounded advice. He says babies have a way of working their way into your heart. He reminds her that even though Kelsey is Joy's child, she is Alex's child too. That is the truth Stephanie cannot avoid. She says she will remember that. She also says she loves Alex, and maybe one day she hopes she will love his daughter too. That is not a perfect answer, but it is an honest one. Stephanie is not pretending everything is fine. She is not making promises she cannot keep. She is leaving the door open, but she is also admitting she is not there yet. And honestly, that makes the moment feel real. Back in the square, Lani also meets Joy, and the two women bond over their kids. Joy tells Lani the truth about everything, and Lani suggests she give Chanel some time to come around because Chanel already has a lot on her plate. That advice matters because Joy is stepping into a complicated emotional space. She has Kelsey, she has Alex, she has Stephanie reacting, and now Chanel's world is heavy too. In Salem, one person's secret rarely stays isolated. Every choice touches someone else. So, by the end of this Peacock Days of Our Lives recap, the episode leaves us with several emotional questions. Can Xander truly stay on the better path when Kristen knows exactly how to tempt him? Will Chanel finally tell Paulina about the biopsy before the silence becomes too painful? And can Stephanie really build a future with Alex if Kelsey is now part of that future forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for daily Days of Our Lives recaps, DOOL recap updates, and the latest Salem drama. Because after today, one question matters most. Is Stephanie protecting her heart, or is she about to lose Alex because she cannot accept the life that comes with loving him?